Right to the last in blue and soccer.
That was really late.
Crocker down.
Disqualified.
He has disqualified Paddy Donovan. Controversy here.
The ref took my dreams away tonight.
The shot was after the bell.
I dropped Lewis, I beat him up, and I was getting a knockout.
Look, that's not the way I want to win a fight.
I've got to be honest with you, I want to see it again.
Alright people, changing the scenery up a little bit here back home in Dublin for a couple of days. Flew in yesterday evening. And you know what, I was right. Final thoughts on Canelo Crawford. We are doing a live watch along. I am seeing, so I'm probably going to try and get a couple of hours kip beforehand, maybe. Depends how I feel, come about midnight or so. Basically what we're thinking of doing is go live at 3-ish in the morning, thereabouts, 3:30, and get a bit of the undercard, and then apparently the ring walks are 4 a.m. Let's see about that, right? But apparently it's going to be 4 a.m. ring walk, and we'll go live for that fight. And I've heard, this is not related to Canelo Crawford, but I'm hearing that Top Rank are going to be showing Inoue versus MJ Akhmadaliev on their YouTube channel tomorrow at about noon. So we might actually go live for that as well. In the meantime, we are here to talk about Canelo Crawford as a whole. And this is my final thoughts. And before I talk about my final thoughts, I want to just touch on the promotion for this fight and everything that they've done in between. I think the promotion is stank, quite frankly, for this fight. I caught a guy called Henry's stream last night. It was very good. And he spoke about this being Dana White's first real, journey into boxing. And it really shows, because Dana White is someone who has the UFC brand, which is the selling point in of itself, right? If you live in London and UFC is on in the O2, more often than not, it really doesn't matter who's fighting. You just know it's UFC. Very few fighters, maybe Conor McGregor, maybe Khabib, John Jones in his day, maybe even Brock Lesnar. They're maybe the only mixed martial artists who maybe you could say were potentially bigger than the brand, maybe Francis Ngannou as well. But essentially as a whole, it's UFC. You see UFC, you know it's going to be good, and there you go, you tune in. Now, him coming into boxing, knowing that that's how he normally does business, was very, very different, because Canelo's a big name. Is Crawford really? Crawford's a big name, don't get me wrong, but he's not on the level of a Canelo. And he wasn't on the level of an Errol Spence. He was the B-side against Errol Spence. Although it was probably 50-50, you know what I mean? He walked to the ring first. It was really Errol Spence was the star, right? Crawford was as well, but to a much lesser extent. And you get the impression with the build-up to this, it's almost like Dana White has thought it will just sell itself. Well, it hasn't. In boxing, it is the fighter who is the name, but you still need to do the build-up. I mean, at the end of the day, look at some of the Riyadh shows we've had, how good they've been, but look at the build-up we've had. We've had the Grand Arrivals we did have as well, but we've had all the kick-off press conferences, we've had the mid-press conferences before all that, we've had the face-offs, we've had everything just to remind you constantly, look what's coming, look what's coming, look what's coming. And it's been lackluster. And another thing they bloody did, and we know they do it nowadays quite regularly, but you did the ceremonial way, and they literally released it. I was still in London. My flight was at 6 o'clock. Well, actually got delayed until 6:30, but my flight was in London. I was still in London working, and I'm like, oh, I know the weights. That shouldn't be happening for a fight in America. That just shouldn't be happening, people. It ruined the spectacle, because I was hoping to look. The weigh-in was late last night, but I was looking forward. I was like, well, I know the weights now, so what's the point? That's why I love it when a heavyweight fight is the main event, because you know that the weigh-in is going to be natural, because there's no ceremonial weigh-in. They don't need to, rehydrate or anything like that. And you're just like, why? It's just like, why? Why would you do that? So the build-up for me has really fallen flat. In terms of the weigh-ins, they were both 167.5 pounds, thereabouts. So same weight. I did wonder, would Crawford come in a bit lighter to be honest with you, because, you know, he's not the natural. Look, he's not a natural super middleweight. He's not really, like, he's a blown up welterweight. He was, I thought, small in there at 154 pounds. He weighed in something like 168 the next day in that fight against Madrimov. So Crawford is not a natural 168 pounder, certainly not. Sorry if I made a bit of noise there hitting the mic. He's not a natural 168 pounder. He just isn't. So for me, I was wondering, would he just try and maybe do a bit like what Conor Benn did? Just be like, look, I'm just going to come in at a weight that I feel comfy with. If I have to weigh, if I'm weighing 156 for a fight, 160 or there, whatever he weighed, so be it. I was wondering, would he do that? He didn't. My thoughts still haven't changed. They really haven't. And when I look at some of Canelo's most recent fights, although he hasn't set the world alight, when he's dropped guys like Munguia, when he's dropped guys like Berlanga, I just look at those shots that he dropped those guys with, and I just think, if Crawford is better than those guys, he is, don't get me wrong, but I just looked, in particular the uppercut he hit Munguia with, I just looked at that and just thought, if he hits Crawford with that, Crawford is in serious trouble. Serious trouble, because the power he's able to generate still, I was just looking, the uppercut and just the accuracy of it and the ferocity, it snapped Munguia's head back. I just remember looking at that thinking, if he actually landed that on Crawford, who's probably never felt power or anything close to that, what would actually happen? Like, would he, Munguia got up, Munguia is a super middleweight, legit. What would Crawford do? Like, how would he react and what would happen? Would he be able to, truthfully, I don't know. So for me, it was it's still a Canelo win. And that's not changed. And I seen in a couple of Ade's videos, he's been kind of hemming and hawing, he's still going with Crawford. No, I'm still going with Canelo. I have not differentiated from that pick. I am going and I am all in. I'm nailing my colours to the mast on that one. It's Canelo or bust. That's who I'm going with in this fight. I'm looking forward to it. I've always been looking forward to this fight, but I just don't have, like, when it was Usyk Dubois 2, the whole day it was like, let's go. When it was AJ Dubois, same thing, let's go. Usyk Fury, you know, even the last crescendo, you know, let's go. Beterbiev Bivol, let's do it, you know, let's do it. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank, etc. Because the build-up was just altogether different. It was just altogether different. We had excitement. The fighters sold the fight so very, very well. We had the build-up. We had everything. Even though they did the ceremonial weigh-ins, you still had heavyweights on the card. I think that's where they're missing the trick here, because you still want that intrigue in a weigh-in. I think they released it a good, 12 hours before, 10 or 12 hours thereabouts before they went onto the scales. It's just like, really? You've just, like, what the fuck? The whole purpose of the weigh-in is you wait in anticipation. Even if they did the ceremonial weigh-in, right, there was no issue. Keep the flipping weight secret. Because when you're watching a weigh-in, right, you want to know, did he miss weight? Did he get? Who's this? Has he done that? Oh my God. When you know the weights already, you're just sitting there and you're just like, all right, they both made weight. Brilliant. Shock. I know. And it ruins it. So for me, I get the whole point, the ceremonial weigh-in, I do. It gives them more time to rehydrate, all that stuff. But, you know, still, could you not at least keep it secret and keep people at least guessing? You know? I don't know. But those are my thoughts. Final thoughts, we will obviously do a post-fight review for Donovan versus Crooker. I'm not going to do a watch-along for that. I'm actually quite tired today. I've been busy today. I met with some friends. And yeah, we'll probably do a post-fight review for that. And we'll definitely do a live watch-along for Canelo Crawford in the wee hours of the morning. And we will likely do the same for Munguia, for Inoue tomorrow as well. But until then, I will leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video. People, smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. Till later. Peace.